Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm 22 years old. I am going to tell you a very crazy, complicated story of my life. Well, I think I am the one to blame for complicating things. But my crush, Mike, had an equal role to play in it, to be honest. Anyway, let me get into the story without any further ado. So, a bit of a background on my family first. When I was in high school, my dad used to be a janitor. Unfortunately for me, he used to work at my school itself. I think you can guess what kind of high school life I had. I was labeled as the janitor's daughter, who always used to wear old clothes with faded colors. I never really had any complaints about my dad or his profession. He was doing his best. My only complaint was with the narrow-minded kids at my school, who judged people by their financial status. That phase passed too, however. I graduated high school and joined college. Meanwhile, my dad's efforts and hard work paid off. He had saved enough over the years to quit his job and start something of his own. And that is how a hotel came into existence. Dad invested all his savings along with some loans he took out into the making of this hotel. I was with him every step of the way to support and help him. After its opening, our hotel was really successful. And well, you could say that we were finally starting to see good days. After graduating from college, I decided not to take up any job so I could keep helping my dad with the hotel. I liked to do all kinds of work from the management to the room service, depending on my mood. My dad was against me doing the jobs of room service and cleaner, but for me no task was trivial. It was my pleasure to do any form of work. So that was the story of how my dad's hotel came into existence and what part I played in it. Moving on, let me tell you how my life took a complete 180-degree turn. One day, I was in charge of welcoming the new guests at our hotel. So I was standing at the entrance in a uniform along with the other staff. A sports car stopped in front of us, and I was frozen to my spot when I saw the person who was getting out of the car. It was Mike, a guy from my school, and someone I used to have a huge crush on. For a moment, I thought that he would recognize me and come and greet me or something. But what happened instead was, he saw me, and sure enough, recognition flitted across his eyes. But instead of acknowledging me, he pointed towards his luggage, gesturing for me to pick them up. As if in a trance, I went to pick up his suitcases and followed after him as he went to the reception. The receptionist, who was my friend, was shocked to see me with suitcases and was about to call someone, but I gestured to stop. This was not the first time I was doing this stuff. I had a lot of practice, and either way, I wanted to go with Mike and talk to him, if I got the opportunity. As soon as we were in his room, Mike plopped down on the bed and gave me a sneer. "Sarah, right?" he started. "The janitor's daughter. I see some things haven't changed. You seem to have followed in your father's footsteps." I wanted to open my mouth and tell him how wrong he was, but then thought against of it. I didn't want to come off as a bragger. He could think whatever he wanted. Money and status didn't matter in the long run. Personality did. "How have been, Mike?" I asked instead. He gave me a smirk. "What do you think? My dad's company is doing better than ever. We can afford all the luxury in the world. And soon I'm going to inherit the company." "Good for you," I muttered. I didn't want to know about his wealth. I was genuinely interested in how he was doing, as in his well-being. But I guess the definition of well-being was different for different people. "So, I remember about the rumor in high school." Mike gave me a smug look. "You had a crush on me or something like that?" My cheeks flushed. Those were not rumors. It was the truth. I was surprised he still remembered. "I don't blame you, Sarah," he continued. "Many girls used to have a crush on me, and even now, they can't stop chasing me." Great, I had a crush on a narcissist. I wish I had some control over my feelings, and could like a better person instead of the self-obsessed one in front of me. But, unfortunately, feelings were feelings. They had a mind of their own. Even after all those years, I still felt something for Mike. After I left his room, I went to the hotel lobby and occupied a place in the corner. The first thing I did was open Facebook. No, don't get me wrong. I wasn't stalking Mike or something. I just wanted to see what he was up to these days. I had just typed his name on the search bar and was about to enter search when a woman appeared in front of me. She was asking me for directions to her room. I saw that she was carrying a baby, so I decided to take her all the way to the room, along with her luggage. In all of this, I completely forgot about Facebook and my search. At that time, I had no idea about what I had done. By the end of the day, I was really tired. I was standing at the reception desk when I received a call from Mike. He wanted me in his room for room service. Well, who was I to deny him when he had specifically requested for me? I know he didn't deserve my attention, but as I said, my feelings were not something that I could control. So I went to Mike's room. As soon as he saw me, he started throwing a fuss about what a pathetic condition the room was in. I glanced around to see that everything was in place. "There's dust on the bedside table," he said. I checked it. There was not even a speck of dust. But for his satisfaction, I still wiped the table with a cloth. Then he started ordering me around to clean this and that. There really was no need of any kind of cleaning, but it was our policy to keep the customer satisfied, so I didn't say anything to him and just complied with whatever he wanted. By the time he was done, I was huffing with exhaustion. It had already been a busy day, and Mike had ordered me around for 1 hour straight. "Whoa, you seem tired," Mike commented. "How do you still have this job? If I was the employer, I would have kicked you out because you seem to have no strength at all." I gritted my teeth in anger and frustration, but didn't say anything. "You know what, Sarah?" he continued thoughtfully. "Because I have a big heart, I will take pity on you just this once. You can come and sleep on this comfortable bed for tonight. I bet you never had any such luxury." He didn't know how wrong he was. He was acting like a complete jerk, but my heart still fluttered when he invited me to sleep beside him. Well, you can't blame me. I had a crush on this guy, and he was giving me an opportunity that I most certainly couldn't pass on. "Oh, but before you come anywhere near me," he began, eyeing me distastefully, "just take a shower or something. You stink." Wow, he didn't leave any opportunity to humiliate me. Was this some kind of joke to him or what? But still I kept my mouth shut and went into the en-suite bathroom. Half an hour later, I was laying beside Mike while he was playing games on his mobile phone. I kept glancing at him from time to time, and I think he sensed this, because he turned to me in annoyance. "Can you stop staring at me? It's really unnerving," he proclaimed, tossing his phone to the side. "This also reminds me of something else." I sat up straighter. "What? Did I do something wrong?" "I don't know if you really are oblivious or just pretend to be." He rolled his eyes, and then picked up his phone, turning it towards me to show me something on the screen. I squinted to get a good look. It was his Facebook feed. There was a post from my account. It said nothing much, just Mike's name. I realized then that I had accidentally made a post with his name instead of searching for him. My fingers must have slipped when I was distracted by the woman earlier. My eyes widened when I realized what this seemed like. The post had been there all day, and apparently Mike thought that I was obsessed with him or something. Could this get any more awkward and humiliating? "Mike, this is a misunderstanding. I was about to explain things, but he held up a hand, cutting me off. "Keep your excuses to yourself, Sarah. Everyone knows that you have had some crazy obsession with me since school days. But at least I thought you were smart enough to not express it openly like this." He shook his head in disbelief. "You are ruining my reputation too. Just imagine if people start believing that I'm associated with the janitor's daughter in any way." He shuddered dramatically. "Ugh, I don't even want to talk to you right now. I am going to sleep. Do whatever you want." He turned around and closed his eyes, falling asleep within minutes. I sat there, contemplating all my choices and decisions, and how I managed to get myself in the stupid awkward situations all the time. While all of this was going on in my mind, Sleep was a far cry. I glanced at Mike, a bit jealous of how he was able to sleep so peacefully, without any worries in the world. But there was another thing too. As I kept looking at him and his gorgeous features registered in my eyes, I was once again overwhelmed by my liking for him. I liked him way too much, even after all he had ever done was humiliate me. Once again, I wish I could do something about my feelings and invest them in a better place. But my heart was having none of it. I sighed as I sat there staring at him all night. The next day, I was in the CCTV room to assess some things. I was looking through the footage of the corridors when my eyes fell on a rather memorable sight. Mike had just got out of his room in the corridor talking to someone on his phone. The shocking thing was that he was just in his bathrobe and his hair was all wet, water droplets dripping down his face. I think I fell in love with him all over again. Why did he have to be so gorgeous? I know it's wrong to watch him like this, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't take my eyes off him. He would have been certainly weirded out if he ever found out that I watched him through a camera. I shook my head and went out of the room, not wanting to violate his privacy like this. That day, I didn't see much of him, because he had spent most of his time outside. When he returned back at night, I went to his room to ask him if he needed anything. I was in for the second shock of the day. Mike had emerged out of the shower yet again, in just his bathrobe. I blushed when I saw him like this in front of me. He frowned at me. "Why do you always walk in on the wrong time?" he asked. "I just came back. Could you give me some time to freshen up? What kind of worker are you? Seriously, you are lucky you still have this job." "I am sorry." I glanced down at my feet. "I just wanted to see if you needed something." "Yeah, well, duh." He rolled his eyes. "The room hasn't been cleaned today. Come in and clean it." Once again, he started ordering me around and I complied like the fool I was. I was so distracted by him in a bathrobe that anything else didn't even register. When I was done, I turned to him with an apologetic look once again. "I am really sorry once again. I didn't mean to appear at the wrong time. I saw you taking a shower in the morning, so I didn't know you would be taking it once again." Mike's eyes widened and so did mine when I realized what I had said. "I knew it! You are still obsessed with me, aren't you?" He gave me a look of disbelief. "I had no idea you would fall this slow. Why the heck do you know about my shower timings and stuff?" I quickly rushed to explain. No, I was just checking the CCTV footages when you came out from the shower. That's it, I didn't do it voluntarily. I promise." "I am low-key afraid of you, Sarah." He took a step back from me. "And why the heck do you have the access to the CCTV footages of this hotel? You are just an ordinary maid." I fumbled for an excuse. "I was helping the technical team with something, that's all." "I don't trust you." He shook his head. "Can you please get out of my room? And please end this obsession of yours. You are just a janitor's daughter and you should freaking know your place. There can be nothing between you and me, ever. Understand?" My eyes burned with tears. He was not just rejecting me. He was downright humiliating me. And this was not the first time. Rejection I could tolerate, because that was about his feelings, but humiliation. He had no right to do that. He scoffed when he realized I was crying. I just walked out of the room, before I could do something that I would regret later. I was at the reception the next morning, when my dad arrived at the hotel. "I got to know that one of your high school friends is staying here," Dad asked me. He's not exactly," I started, but Dad didn't even let me finish and started walking towards the elevators. "Dad, please no!" I ran after him. "Sarah, I would just like to talk to him." Dad smiled. "I promise I won't embarrass you." "But Dad..." It was too late. Mike was already walking towards us and bumped into Dad. As soon as he saw Dad, realization crossed his features. "Well, aren't you Sarah's dad?" Mike asked mockingly. I hope against hope that he would not say anything humiliating to Dad. "You are Mike, right?" Dad replied enthusiastically. "Do you remember me? I used to work as a janitor in your school." "Sure, how can I forget?" Mike sneered. "You and your daughter do some really memorable things." Thank goodness Dad ignored the jab in Mike's words and proceeded to pat his shoulder. It's good to see you, kid. When you guys were in high school, it was a tough time for me. I thought I would never make it. I was worried for Sarah's future. But man, look at me now. I own this luxury hotel and my daughter lives comfortably. I couldn't have imagined this would happen in a million years. Mike's jaw had dropped to the floor by now. He was stunned to say the least. I just stood there silently, because there was nothing that could be done now. My dad had finally revealed the secret that I had been keeping from Mike for so many days. Anyway, Dad continued, completely oblivious to everything, I will leave you two to enjoy. And with that, he took his leave. Mike stared at me for a few minutes, before blinking. Your dad owns this hotel? Yeah, I replied in a small voice. Why didn't you tell me? He asked, still in shock. Well, I don't think that this is that big of a deal, I said honestly. Why does it even matter? He shook his head. I treated you so badly all this time, and now I am regretting it. Wow, I couldn't believe this. Just because he found out that I was rich now, he was suddenly regretting his behavior? How can I make it up to you? He asked, coming forward. I took a step back. Don't even bother. As you said, I have ended my obsession with you. You don't owe me anything. I turned around and walked away, but oh boy, how the tables had turned after that day. Mike didn't leave me alone now, always pestering me to talk to him, to forgive him and stuff. When are you leaving? I asked him bluntly one day. Huh? He asked in confusion. When is your break getting over? You aren't going to stay here always, are you? Oh, well, I was supposed to wait for my dad, but... He trailed off. But? I raised an eyebrow at him. He scratched the back of his head. My dad promised me that he would come and spend this vacation with me. He called to inform me that there were some changes of plans and that he was not going to come. He will be spending this vacation with some of his clients instead. I shook my head. He should have taken some time out for you. You see, Sarah, it's always been like this. He never has time for me. I am mostly on my own. He just provides me with the required money and then we go on our separate ways, he explained as if it was no big deal. I gave him a look of disbelief. Your own life is so terrible, yet you didn't think twice before humiliating me. When he thought that I was the janitor's daughter, at least my dad spends time with me and cares about me. What makes you think that you are all high and mighty just because you are rich? My dad is still the same humble man even after his success, and I am still happy. He was taken aback by my words, and I felt slightly guilty, but then again, he had it coming. All those insults were finally getting to me, and I couldn't stop myself now that I had a chance to tell him off. Look, Sarah, money's the most important thing in this world. He started, making me roll my eyes. Believe it or not, you don't need your family for happiness. Money can buy you everything you need for a happy and satisfied life. Yeah, well, too bad it can't buy you someone's love, I told him, and started walking away, but he grabbed my hand to stop me. If you're mad at me for mistreating you then, I am sorry, okay? He said in frustration. I was just in a bad mood because of all this stuff going on with my dad. I took it out on you. I am sorry. Why did I have a feeling that it was a fake apology? In fact, I think I knew the reason for his sudden interest in me. He knew that I was rich now, and he definitely had some ulterior motive. Sure, I forgive you, I told him, just to get rid of him. Now, leave me alone. Hey, I want to make it up to you, he quickly said. Can we go somewhere to eat or something? I crossed my arms across my chest. Fine, but just for this once. I had no idea why I was still giving him a chance. Maybe I believed that he had genuinely changed and would do the right thing now. But of course, that was not the case. After we were done eating in the restaurant, you know what happened? He glanced up at me and gestured for me to pay the bill. I gaped at him. I really couldn't believe he was doing that. He wasn't even asking to split the amount, but straight up wanted me to pay. I slapped the bills on the table and walked away from the restaurant, without waiting for him. He followed after me, and once we were inside the hotel, he opened his mouth once again. Sarah, since we are friends and all, would you feel nice for taking money from me? Can't you, make my stay here free and provide me free service? Are you freaking serious right now? I fumed. Yeah, what's so shocking about this? You have the money and the means. Why can't you do this little thing for me? He said mockingly. Because, I bit out, you are a freaking gold digger. And get your facts right. We are not friends. I don't want any kind of association with someone as selfish as you. Get the hell out of here. I pointed towards the exit. I don't want you in front of my eyes. He took a step towards me. Come on, Sarah. Don't overreact. No one will believe that you are rich if you keep behaving this way. You need to... Security! I yelled over Mike's voice. Throw him out of the hotel along with his luggage and all of his belongings. I walked away after that, ignoring Mike's words of protest and never turning around to look at him. So yeah, this was pretty much everything that happened with me. I couldn't believe that I used to like Mike at one point. He was a chameleon. He changed his color as soon as he found out about my truth. And I still gave him a chance, but he blew it off. What a gold digger. But now that I had thrown him out and seen his humiliated face, I think I was satisfied. I do feel bad sometimes, because treating someone like that is not in my nature. What do you think? Did I do the right thing? What else could I have done if not this?